Okay, so now we'll compare the different LIFO approaches. You have specific goods LIFO, which is unrealistic. You've got the pooled LIFO that solves some of the problems, and then you have dollar value LIFO, which is the one that most companies who use LIFO use. Okay, so major advantages of LIFO, and this is kind of silly to have this here. It doesn't generally follow the flow of goods, except for things like piles of coal, gravel, and sand, and my refrigerator. Last in, first out is not a good thing. But, if you think of a pile of gravel and you go in to get it, you're not going to go in and take the first gravel you put there, which is at the bottom of the pile. So, LIFO would follow that physical flow. Okay, so matching, you're matching the current costs of inventory with current sales. So you get a very accurate cost of goods sold when you use LIFO, because you're last in, first out, you're using your most recent items as your cost of goods sold. Okay, so what else happens with this? You've got the tax benefits. You get the higher cost of goods sold, means lower net income, so lower taxes paid out. And then apparently the LIFO conformity rule has been somewhat relaxed. It's probably not good. So the disadvantages of LIFO, the reporting a lower net income, doesn't make the stockholders quite as happy, but most sophisticated analysts are going to know the impacts, and so it's not going to be that big a deal. The inventory on the balance sheet will be the oldest item, so as in a period of rising prices, it's going to be understated. It won't reflect the current value of the inventory. So if you're thinking of current assets, current liabilities, that's messing up your current ratio and things like that. Okay, we talked about the physical flow. It usually doesn't represent that. Involuntary liquidation, we talked about that before. The company may buy stuff they don't need. And then the biggie is the international standards don't permit LIFO. So that makes it more complex for international companies. Okay, so when you're looking at LIFO, there you're going to get a better income measure because, with LIFO you're getting the better income measure because your most recent costs are matched with your current revenues. FIFO and average cost give you more accurate portrayal of what's going on the balance sheet, because the ending inventory will be valued closer to current costs. Okay, so that's kind of a comparison of the various methods. Yeah, the international standards don't allow it. That's a big one. As less companies use it, then still less companies will use it, because in general they'd like to be comparable to other companies in their industry in what methods they use. Inflation's been low for quite a while, so there's less incentive. And then you get the just-in-time inventory, where things are showing up just in time to sell them. So there's not going to be that much difference between your, your inventory layers there. Okay, so the next thing we'll talk about will be the basis for selection of an inventory method.